There is a feeling. It lives just beneath your skin. A low hum of dread, a quiet tightness in your chest. Sometimes it's a whisper, sometimes it's a scream, but it is always there. The sense that something is wrong, that danger is near. You feel it when you look at your phone. You feel it in meetings you haven't even attended yet. You feel it in the dead of night when the world is silent, but your mind is at war. This feeling has a name. We call it anxiety. And we have been told to manage it, to cope with it, to accept it as a part of modern life. That is a lie. You are not meant to live in a state of constant low-grade fear. You are not designed to be a prisoner of your own nervous system. The feeling is real, but the story you've been told about it is not. Today you are not here to cope. You are here to take control. You are here to learn how to find the control panel in your own mind and, when needed, to flip the off switch. To do this, you must first meet the architect of your anxiety. It is not a flaw in your character. It is not a weakness of your spirit. It is a small, almond-shaped cluster of neurons located deep inside your brain. It is called the amygdala. You must understand its true purpose. Your amygdala is not your enemy. It is your oldest protector. It is the ancient primal bodyguard that has kept your ancestors alive for millions of years. It is the part of you that scans the horizon for predators, that feels the rumble of an earthquake before it hits, that tells you not to eat the poisoned fruit. Its only job is to scream danger at the first sign of a potential threat. It is a master of one thing: survival. It is fast. It is powerful. And it operates entirely outside of your conscious control. It has to be fast, because when a tiger is leaping from the bushes, you don't have time to think. You only have time to react. Fight, flight, flight, freeze. This system is a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. It worked perfectly for millennia. But there is a fatal problem. Your ancient bodyguard is now living in the modern world, and it cannot tell the difference between a tiger in the grass and a critical email from your boss. It cannot distinguish between the threat of starvation and the threat of a negative comment on social media. To your amygdala, a threat is a threat. The response is the same. The same flood of cortisol and adrenaline that would prepare you to fight a predator is now released because you are stuck in traffic. The same hypervigilance needed to survive in the wild is now activated by the notification sound on your phone. This is the tyranny of the amygdala. It is a bodyguard so overzealous, so overprotective, that it has effectively locked you in a high-security prison to keep you safe. Third, it is a fire alarm that is perfectly functional, but its sensitivity is turned up so high that it now screams at the smoke from a piece of toast. And every time the alarm screams, your body believes it. Your heart races, your breathing becomes shallow, your muscles tense, your mind begins to race, searching for a danger that your conscious, logical mind knows is not there. But you cannot reason with an alarm. You cannot negotiate with a bodyguard who believes you are under immediate attack. This is the source of your exhaustion. You are living in a body that is constantly preparing for a battle that never comes. You are burning through your life force, not fighting external enemies, but fighting the false alarms being generated within your own mind. But what if you could? What if you could walk up to that screaming alarm panel, open the cover, and recalibrate its sensitivity? What if you could have a quiet word with your bodyguard and respectfully tell it to stand down? You can. Solution. This is not a metaphor. This is a function of your brain's architecture. Because you don't just have an ancient bodyguard, you also have a wise master, a commander. And the story of your anxiety is, in fact, the story of the battle between the two. Understanding this battle is the first step to winning the war. So you have met the guard, the ancient, well-meaning but chronically overreactive part of you. But it is only one half of the story, because for every guard there must be a master. For every alarm there must be someone with the authority to turn it off. This master lives in the most recently evolved part of your brain, right behind your forehead. It is your prefrontal cortex. If the amygdala is the screaming guard in the watchtower, your prefrontal cortex, or PFC, is the calm, wise general in the command tent. The amygdala is fast. It thinks in milliseconds. It is purely emotional and reactive. Its language is fear. Its only goal is immediate survival. The PFC is slow. It thinks in seconds, even minutes. It is logical, rational, and forward-thinking. It is the part of you that can plan, reason, and understand context. It knows the difference between a tiger and an email. It knows that public speaking will not kill you. It is the seat of your conscious human intelligence. For most of human history, these two worked in harmony. The amygdala would scream, "Danger," and the PFC would calmly assess the situation. It would hear the alarm, look out of the tent and say, "Thank you for the warning, but that is not a tiger, that is just the wind in the trees. Stand down." This is the power dynamic you were designed to have. The guard sounds the alarm, the general gives the command. But the modern world has broken this chain of command. We are flooded with so much information, so much stimulation, so much low-grade stress that the amygdala is screaming constantly. And a general who is constantly being screamed at cannot think clearly. The PFC becomes overwhelmed. It gets fatigued. This state is what neuroscientists call an amygdala hijack. The guard has overthrown the general. The alarm is now in control of the system. Your body is flooded with stress hormones, and your PFC, the very part of your brain that could calm you down, is essentially knocked offline. Have you ever been so anxious or angry that you can't think straight? That you say or do things you later regret? That is an amygdala hijack. In that moment, your logical, wise general was not in command. The terrified, reactive guard was. So, the entire journey of overcoming anxiety is not about destroying the guard. You need it. It might save your life one day. The journey is about restoring the chain of command. It is about strengthening the general so it can no longer be overthrown. It is about training your PFC to the point where it can hear the scream, acknowledge it, and confidently say, "I am in control here." Every time you feel that wave of anxiety, what you are actually feeling is this internal power struggle. It is the war between your instinct and your intellect, between your reaction and your reason. Most common advice for anxiety fails because it tries to reason with the guard. Just think positive. Don't worry about it. This is like shouting complex legal arguments at a fire alarm. The alarm does not understand logic. It only understands one thing: signals of safety or signals of danger. Therefore, to regain control, you cannot talk to the guard. You must send it a signal it understands. A signal so clear, so primal, that it bypasses thought and speaks directly to your ancient nervous system. You must learn to use your own body and mind to send a clear message from the general back to the watchtower. A message that says the threat is not real, the battle is over, you can stand down. The hacks we are about to explore are not just clever tricks, they are scientifically validated methods for sending these precise signals. They are the tools the general will use to reclaim its authority. The first hack is physiological. It is the most powerful because it uses the body's own wiring to manually override the alarm. It is the emergency brake, the system reboot. The second hack is cognitive. It is how you use your conscious mind to relabel and reframe the alarm, teaching the guard over time what is a real threat and what is a false one. By mastering these two tools, you do more than just manage anxiety. You change the very structure of your brain. You strengthen the neural pathways between your PFC and your amygdala. You turn a dirt path into a superhighway of self-regulation. You are not just learning to cope. You are training to become the undisputed master of your own internal state. And now, the training begins. The general is ready. The chain of command must be restored. It is time to send the first signal. Remember, you cannot reason with the panicked guard. You must command it. And the most powerful commands are not spoken with words, but with the body. We will now use a deep biological reflex, hardwired into your DNA, to send an undeniable signal of calm to your amygdala. This first hack is called the mammalian dive reflex. The name may sound complex, but the technique is brutally simple. It is perhaps the most powerful and fastest acting tranquilizer you are not using. It is the override switch built into your very biology. Every mammal on this planet has it, from the great blue whale to you. This reflex is designed to help mammals survive when submerged in cold water. But we are going to activate it on demand to stop anxiety in its tracks. Here is how you do it. You will need a bowl of cold water. The colder the better, add ice if you can. The temperature is what triggers the reflex. Take a deep breath and hold it. Then, simply submerge your face in the cold water. Focus on the areas around your cheeks and nose. Keep your face submerged for 15 to 30 seconds. That's it. When you emerge, you will feel a profound shift in your state. The screaming internal alarm will be quiet. The tightness in your chest will have eased. What just happened? You did not just distract yourself. You activated a powerful neurological circuit. The moment cold water hits your face, a signal is sent directly to your brainstem and your vagus nerve, the superhighway of your relaxation response. This triggers an immediate cascade of physiological changes. Your heart rate slows down dramatically. This is called bradycardia. Your blood vessels constrict and blood is redirected from your arms and legs to your core, protecting your brain and heart. Think about what this communicates to your amygdala. The fight or flight response jacks your heart rate up to prepare for action. This reflex forces your heart rate down. It is sending a biological signal that is the absolute opposite of panic. It is telling your brain, we are not fighting, we are not fleeing, we are conserving, we are calm. Your amygdala has no choice but to obey this signal. It is a more ancient, more powerful command than the anxiety it was generating. You have used your body's own wiring to hack the system. This is your emergency brake. But what if you are not near a bowl of water? What if you are in an office meeting or in a public space when you feel the wave of anxiety begin? You need a portable tool, a way to signal safety that you can use anywhere, anytime. For this, we use a second physiological hack. We will call it the self-heavening technique. The word heaven means a place of safety. This technique uses the power of soothing, bilateral touch to generate a sense of safety from within. It is based on the same principles as therapies like EMDR. Here is how you do it. Cross your arms over your chest, as if you are giving yourself a hug. Place your right hand on your left shoulder and your left hand on your right shoulder. Now begin to gently and slowly stroke downwards, from your shoulders to your elbows. First the right hand, then the left. Create a slow, steady, alternating rhythm. One hand, then the other. Creak. As you do this, you can also hum a simple low-frequency chick. The combination of the touch and the vibration of humming is profoundly calming to the nervous system. Do this for a minute or two. Why does this work? This type of bilateral self-soothing touch has been shown to generate calming delta waves in the brain, the same waves that are dominant during deep, restorative sleep. You are mimicking the ancient comforting gesture of a parent soothing a child. You are telling your primal brain, your overactive amygdala, you are safe, I am here, you are protected. The guard feels this signal of safety and begins to relax its hypervigilance. These are your two physiological tools. The dive reflex is your power tool, your override switch for intense panic. The self-heavening technique is your portable tool for managing waves of anxiety in any environment. Practice them. Don't wait for the panic to strike. Practice them when you are calm so the pathways become familiar. You have now learned how to command your nervous system directly. You have learned to speak the body's native language. Next, we will teach the general how to speak the language of the mind. You now possess the tools to physically interrupt the anxiety response. You can reboot your nervous system with the dive reflex and soothe it with the havening technique. These are your bottom-up tools, using the body to command the brain. Now we will master the top-down approach. We will teach the general, your prefrontal cortex, how to use its greatest weapon, language and meaning. This is how you dismantle anxiety, not just at the there of sensation, but at the level of thought itself. This second hack is a two-step cognitive process: label, then reframe. It sounds simple, but within this simplicity lies the entire art of emotional regulation. Let's begin with the first step: labeling. When a wave of anxiety hits, our instinct is to become one with it. We don't just feel anxiety, we are anxiety. The feeling consumes our identity. The internal narrative is, I am panicking, I am terrified, I'm losing control. Labeling is the art of creating a tiny, powerful space between you, the observer, and the emotion. The thing being observed, instead of becoming the storm, you become the scientist watching the storm. The technique is this: the moment you feel the familiar surge, you consciously pause and put a label on the experience. But you must use specific, detached language. You do not say, I am anxious. This merges you with the feeling. Instead, you say to yourself, I am noticing the sensation of anxiety in my body. You do not say, I'm scared. You say, I am aware that my mind is generating thoughts of fear. See the difference? I am anxious is a statement of identity. I am noticing anxiety is a statement of observation. This subtle shift in language is a seismic shift in power. You have just changed your position from being the victim of the feeling to being the awareness that perceives the feeling. This is not philosophy, this is documented neuroscience. In studies using fMRI scans, researchers like Dr. Matthew Lieberman at UCLA found that when individuals labeled their negative emotions, the activity in their reactive amygdala actually decreased. At the same time, the activity in their logical self-regulating prefrontal cortex increased. The simple act of naming the emotion tames it. It engages the general and disarms the guard. You are using the power of your intellect to acknowledge the alarm without becoming the alarm itself. Once you have labeled the feeling and created that critical space, you can proceed to step 2, reframing. Reframing is the art of consciously choosing the story you tell yourself about the sensations you are feeling. The amygdala gives you raw data, a racing heart, shallow breathing, tense muscles. It labels this data with one word: danger. Reframing is the act of the general looking at that same raw data and writing a new, more accurate and more empowering label. You are seizing control of the narrative. Let's say you have to give a presentation. Your heart starts to pound. The old story, written by the amygdala, is I'm panicking. I'm going to fail. Everyone will see my fear. The general, now online because you have labeled the feeling, can write a new story. It might sound like this. My body is producing a surge of energy. This isn't fear, it's readiness. My heart is beating faster to deliver more oxygen to my brain so I can be sharp and focused. This is not a threat. This is my body preparing me for peak performance. Do you feel the power in that? The physical sensations are identical, but the meaning attached to them has been completely transformed. Here are other examples. The old story, I am having a panic attack. Reframe. This is a false alarm from my overprotective bodyguard. I felt this before. It's an uncomfortable but not dangerous release of adrenaline. It will pass. The old story, I am terrified of this social situation. The reframe. I am feeling a wave of social energy. I will use it to observe others with curiosity instead of focusing on myself. Reframing is not about lying to yourself. It is not toxic positivity, fool. It is about finding a more empowering and more accurate interpretation of the events. It is profoundly inaccurate to believe that a presentation is the same level of threat as a tiger. Your amygdala doesn't know this, but your PFC does. Reframing is the PFC teaching the amygdala, over and over, what is truly dangerous and what is simply a challenge to be met. Labeling creates the space. Reframing uses that space to rewrite the story. This two process is your cognitive sword. The more you use it, the sharper it becomes. You are creating a new habit. You are carving new neural pathways. You are training your brain thought by thought to choose wisdom over reaction. You are teaching your general how to be the undisputed commander of your mind. You have come far. You have stared into the heart of your anxiety and identified its source. An ancient god, working with an outdated map of the world. You have learned to speak its language. You have learned to send signals of safety directly into your nervous system, using the primal power of the dive reflex and the comfort of self-havening. You have learned to use your conscious mind as a weapon, to label the storm without becoming it, and to reframe the narrative from one of fear to one of power. You now have the tools. You have the hacks. But we are not here to create a life of endlessly applying hacks. We are here to create a life where you need them less and less, to break. The final step of this journey is to understand the most crucial truth of all. These hacks are not just tools, they are training exercises. Every time you use the dive reflex, you are not just stopping a panic attack, you are performing a repetition, a rep that strengthens the connection between your body and your brain's calming centers. Every time you label and reframe a fearful thought, you are not just finding temporary relief. You are carving a new neural pathway. You are physically strengthening the muscle of your prefrontal cortex. You are literally building a more resilient brain. This is the shift from hacker to master. A hacker finds a clever way to bypass a problem. A master trains so profoundly that the problem ceases to exist in the same way. Your goal is not to live a life without fear. that is impossible. Your ancient guard will always be there, and that is a good thing. Your goal is to build a prefrontal cortex so strong, so practiced and so wise that it becomes the undisputed general of your mind. The goal is to reach a state where the alarm can go off, and you can meet it not with panic, but with a calm, unshakable confidence that says, I see you, I hear you, and I am in command here. This is a change in your fundamental identity. You are no longer a person who suffers from anxiety. You are now a person who is in active training to master their own nervous system. Can you feel the power in that statement? One is a passive victim, the other is an active warrior. This training is not complex. It is a simple commitment to use these tools not just in moments of crisis, but in moments of quiet practice. To build the strength before the storm arrives. This is the final secret. You don't rise to the level of your hopes. You fall to the level of your training. And now, your training must begin with a conscious act of decision. A declaration that you are no longer the frightened soldier, but the calm general who leads them. As we have done before, we will use the space below not for passive commentary, but for active commitment, to seal the knowledge you have gained with a choice. I want you to take a moment. Feel the truth of the journey we have taken. Feel the shift from being a prisoner of the alarm to being the one in control of the panel. And now, make your declaration. Write these 4 words in the comments below. I am the general. This is your vow. It is your acceptance of your new role. It is the first official command you will give in your new chain of command. It is the statement that separates who you were from who you are now becoming. The war against anxiety is not won in a single epic battle. It is won in the quiet, daily decisions to train, to practice, and to lead yourself. You have the strategy, you have the tools, you have the command. Now go and command your peace.